All right, and we'll continue with the coverage of some of the stories that came from Parliament and, of course, what we know about the budget 2025-2026. But in studio, I have my panelists. We have Sandeep Men from KPMG. Good evening.
Hi, Sam.
Great to see you. And I have the Executive Director of Budget. I have Dr. Abraham Rugo. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Great. And shortly, we'll be joined by Bill Okero, who is a political economist. Like I told you, he's also a former senator of Mandera County. But before we get into more stories, Sandeep, what's your impression of the budget 2025-2026 for you?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. So I think for me, this is a very lean budget. I've been doing this for almost 2 decades. And usually the finance bill historically has tried to at least raise about 300 billion, whereas this one has done about 34B or thereabouts. So for me, it's a very lean budget, but obviously the revenue measures are very lean through the finance bill, but the budget itself is quite ambitious, 4.3 trillion. I mean, this afternoon I heard DCS talk about the budget being based on zero-based budgeting. I have a lot of questions around that.
Okay.
I'm just wondering how a zero-based budgeting can give us 4.3 trillion, as an overall budget.
Right.
But yeah, that's my immediate reaction.
Okay, we'll get to more about that because the Cabinet Secretary, like you say, has been very consistent on saying that zero-based budgeting has happened. And this was a promise by the President sometime last year. Dr. Rugo, for you, the impression about this financial year's budget?
I think there's a lot of effort to try and give hope. I think what I kept hearing, and the CSA is trying to give hope. However, a lot of things remain almost the same because, for instance, what was supposed to be a lower budget actually has ended up being a higher budget. What was supposed to be a lower deficit, the difference between revenue and expenditure, has ended up being, as late as today is when the figure actually has gone up by almost another 50 billion. And therefore, and then listening to the speech, our budget is broken into too many small pieces. At one point, even the members of parliament got tired, and he had not even started breaking the lines. And my worry is that those small pieces are the ones becoming the compounding challenge
right.
Of so many new state departments that have been introduced, but so many programs under economic empowerment, under any sector, climate change, climate adaptation and the like. So my impression is that a lot seems to have changed, and I also have a lot of questions around the zero-based budget. My sense is that actually there was no discussion around zero-based budget. It is now being initiated.
Maybe you can help us, just before you take the next story.
Yeah.
What is zero-based budget?
So zero-based budget is basically that, take an example, Sandeep and I are 2 departments. Every year we come, and you're the National Treasury. We come and we explain the rationale for all the programs we want to do afresh. The difference is incremental budget, where we say, last year you gave us 10 shillings, this year give us 12 shillings, because we are still offering the same service and the So zero-based budget is about giving a rationale afresh. And that's why it's called zero. So
you don't believe that has happened?
Like you start from a clean slate
and
say, how many children are we taking to school? What are our assumptions about their cost? Is that what we should be spending on? I don't get an impression a lot of that has happened because of even the amount of time that has been there. What I know is that there was an effort to do a training, and the CS actually did speak about, getting people to, basically the heads of those institutions to start understanding what this whole zero-based budget. But I have not gotten a sense that there has been that, because it's a long conversation.
It is.
Because it starts from the planning, because then it means you have to go back to your plans and say, what exactly are we trying to achieve? And therefore, what do we need?
Okay, all right. We'll get to more details about that, and of course, just